Welcome to What's Your Edge, a series of VisionEdge Marketing podcasts dedicated to helping you use data, analytics, process, and measurement to create a competitive edge for you and a superior experience for your customers. I'm your host, Laura Patterson, President of VisionEdge Marketing, and today, Victor Gichun, Vice President of Business Development at Excess Logic, is joining us. Excess Logic is a nationwide leader in surplus equipment and electronics liquidation, offering businesses a seamless way to manage excess and obsolete inventory. What sets Excess Logic apart is its ability to create value through a robust ecosystem of providers and a laser focus on customer experience and competitive differentiation. In this episode, Victor is going to share with us how Excess Logic has engineered its customer-centric processes and ecosystem strategy to create value and growth, differentiate itself in a crowded market, and align its operations to deliver measurable results. Victor, I'm looking forward to your insights and hearing how Excess Logic's ecosystem and differentiation strategies have enabled you to be so successful. Your story highlights the importance of aligning resources, fostering collaboration, and standing out in a very crowded market. So let's jump in and discuss the challenges your customers often face. Managing surplus and obsolete equipment is a complex and often overlooked part of business operations. If you only knew how many various electronic devices we have in our own companies, in closets and in desks, and in all various places, is probably not that different from what your customers experience. So, what are the most common challenges your customers encounter, and how does Excess Logic help them overcome these hurdles?
Hi, Laura. Thank you for having me here. And one of the most common challenges our customers encounter is what to do with excess equipment, is excess electronics, like you just mentioned. All companies have it. And because in the US, you can't just throw them away to the garbage bin because you need to comply with the regulations. And so there is no electronic pollution. Right, and this is exactly what Excess Logic does for those companies. So we provide professional service nationwide. We pick up that equipment from them, and then we either sell that equipment or recycle that equipment. And this is the core of the business, I would say, the services we provide.
Thank you. Yes, you are right. We can't just throw them away in the garbage bin. That's probably why we have so many computers and whatnot just stacked up in various places in the office. So it sounds like Excess Logic provides a lifeline for businesses struggling with these issues. And I know that you and the company are very committed to creating customer value. How do you ensure that your solutions are tailored to meet the diverse needs of your customers? Because you work with companies in all kinds of industries and in all sizes.
So to ensure that solutions are like tailor-made for our customers and meet their diverse needs, because different customers, they have different needs. What we do, we first of all, we established the one-stop solution, which I will be talking later in the details, which encounter and encompass all type of equipment they need. And this is all goes through all the locations company may have in the United States. So it's not just local service, because this is two biggest challenges: the type of equipment and electronics company have in access and the locations. So most of our competitors, they just provide local service, and the company that has more than one location, they have a challenge of how to get the service on a timely manner and unified and convenient for them, so they don't spend much time and money on managing this process of decommissioning the surplus equipment. So this is how we tailor our solutions for the customers.
Okay, and the fact that you are nationwide, I know that's something that we've talked about before, and that it is a pretty major differentiator. And to your point, Excess Logic is in a very competitive market. Every city, every location has somebody who does what you do. It's very competitive. It's very cluttered, and I'm sure that makes growth pretty challenging. Yet your company is growing. And I know that a lot of the reason that you're growing is that you're very committed to the customer experience. So how do you differentiate your company, Access Logic, from competitors on customer experience, and how do you embed these qualities into your operations and service delivery?
So to differentiate our company from our competitors, we implement in 2018 so-called one-stop solution. So what is one-stop solution? So when company, let's say any company that, let's say biotech company, because our main focus is like a life science company that have a lot of life equipment, R&D equipment, analytical equipment, and you name it. And at the same time, they have IT equipment like computers, laptops, and so on and so forth. So one-stop solution provide that we can send a truck to any locations in the United States and pick up everything that company no longer need. Not just IT, because most of our competitors, they just, for example, they know how to deal with computers and servers. But if you give them some scientific piece of equipment, they would not know what is this. They can recycle it, of course, but sometimes they don't even, they're not able to pick it up. Let's say company has 5 refrigerators, which is like half a truck. And what we experienced when we were building a network of ecosystem, we learned that a lot of kind of competitors nationwide, they can't even pick up anything such as like a lab hood or refrigerator. And we found this problem which our customers experience every day, that they're trying to go on Google and find some company, local company that can come and take the equipment they have. And the companies which specialize in IT assets like computers, they just say, no, I'm sorry, we can't help you. And this is how this one-stop solution came to the market. So we figured out, so the first problem, we need to be able to provide the company with picking up all type of equipment they have. And secondly, again, location. I can give you example. One of my clients, we help them to liquidate a lab in Utah. And actually, I met the client in Boston 6 months before. And he called me, even though our headquarters in Fremont, California, and the client located in Boston, but his lab is in Utah, you understand? So this is like geographical kind of thing. He tried to approach several companies in Boston, and none of them was able to help him in Utah, because they said, yeah, we can help you in Boston or some close states, but not in Utah or somewhere else. So he called me because he had my business card, and he knew I told him that we work nationwide, and we successfully send a truck to Utah facility, pick up all equipment, brought to California. Some equipment been sold, some equipment been recycled, and he received money, and he done it on time, so he doesn't need to pay for rent for that office next month. So he saved a lot of money on rent. So this is how we differentiate Access Logic from other competitors: nationwide presence and one-stop solution for all type of equipment.
That's an excellent example of both the customer experience and the value of being nationwide and one-stop shopping. And I think it is important for our community to understand that we are talking about all and any kind of equipment, not just those computers and phones and whatever, keyboards or whatever it is that you might have. We're talking about all kinds of scientific equipment, or any kind of equipment that might be in a lab or might be in a manufacturing facility. So
Right.
yeah, it is pretty diverse. And I guess that's one of the reasons that you've had to really invest in an ecosystem strategy, so that you have relationships everywhere for all kinds of industries, for all kinds of equipment all over the country. And we believe very firmly in understanding and mapping the ecosystem and using the ecosystem to identify prospects and to better serve customers. It's a powerful growth strategy, and one often overlooked by many companies. And your nationwide reach and extensive network of providers is very impressive. So, Victor, how does this ecosystem enhance your ability to serve customers both more efficiently and more effectively?
So this is a very good question. So it started in 2018. So the company was founded in 2013, and before 2018, for 5 years, we were like any other company, just providing services locally in San Francisco Bay Area. But in 2018, we started working with Google, and Google asked us, can you guys help us nationwide? And they had 30 facilities which they want us to help with. So what we've done since then, we contacted local providers that do pretty much like local e-waste recycling services, and we signed a contract with them that they will be helping us with the logistics. They will be sending trucks, picking up stuff from Google or other clients in the area, and they will provide, we will pay them for their service, and we just provide through them logistic services, but then we will provide the rest of the services, data destruction, remarketing, recycling for Google. So that those companies help us to build this logistical ecosystem around Access Logic, so we are able to provide service same day in any state in the United States. We only don't work in Alaska and Hawaii because of it's remote and there's not much business actually, like high-tech IT business or life science business. And I can give you example. This ecosystem allows us to provide, like one day a Google representative called me from Texas, and since we're in California, it's 2 hour difference at 10 a.m. in morning in Pacific time. And they ask if we can do pick up in 2 hours in Houston, Texas. And we've done that because we have this ecosystem. This is very unusual request, and many companies would fail to do this. So, but since we have this ecosystem, for us it was not a big deal. We just done that. We not even overcharge the client for like urgency. I just called my local provider in Houston. I said, okay, there's a 2 boxes of e-waste. Can you go and pick it up? He said, yeah. By the way, we have a truck nearby. We will do it. It was done like that. So this is what ecosystem can help your business stand out of your competition. And believe me, your clients, they're not gonna switch because somebody provides a little bit cheaper service, because this is so valuable, this ability that you can be so flexible and so fast reaction anywhere in the US. So it's very hard to replace you with some of your competitors, because it's very hard to build this system. It took us several years to really build the system.
Yeah, I think what you're speaking to. So when as we're talking here, the ecosystem that you're talking about includes logistics people, transportation. It includes the people for remarketing. It includes the people for disposal. Lots of different members of the ecosystem. So as our community is listening, they could be thinking about who are all the players in our ecosystem that would allow us to be able to expand our reach, our service, our capabilities, and grow. So I think this is a great example. It doesn't just because you have chosen your ecosystem to be around transportation, remarketing, and disposal. Another company in a different industry might need very different kinds of partners from the ecosystem. So thank you for sharing that example. So we have found, in our work, that customer experience is often the linchpin of long-term success. And I know that you have found that to be true as well. You've been talking about some of the customers that you have that are new, and some customers that you have used that have been part of your company for a very long time. So where does customer experience fit into your company's strategy? And how do you ensure that it remains a top priority? Because I know it's very important to you, Victor.
The customer experience, it was always first priority for us. This is why we spent, like I mentioned, like about 5 years to really figure out and found what exactly value we can bring to the table to our customer, to stand out and to be really different and really valuable for our customers, so we don't become a commodity that a customer will compare us by price. And as a result of introducing the one-stop solution and the nationwide presence, this ecosystem, I can tell since then, 50% of our business every year, year after year, since 2018, it's been for 7 years. It's a 50% of income coming in and orders. It's a repeat business. So once customer try it, they like it because of the dependability. It's dependable and it's convenient. Just imagine, let's say lab has 10 locations. If they don't use one-stop solution from Access Logic, Then they will end up usually with 3 vendors. One vendor who only do IT stuff, one vendor will be one vendor who do like lab stuff, and another vendor who will do facility equipment. So it's a 3 per location. So if you have 10 locations, it's 30 companies you need to sign contracts. You need to check them. You get paperwork in 30 different formats. Then you need to do a lot of work. So a lot of work, people involved in this. It's a big burden for the company doing the same thing, which they can do just having one company that provide unified reports for all the locations. You need to have one email of your account manager. You send email with the location, with the contact person, and with the pictures or list of what you have there, and it will be done when you need it. As simple as that. So this is why this ecosystem creates this 50% income for our company, and company booking us again and again because they don't want to switch anywhere. They don't need it anymore. So this is why it's so important to always focus on that value you can bring to the client. So it will be irreplaceable value, I would say.
Yes, I love that phrase, irreplaceable value. You're right. And you guys have done an amazing job. And I think one of the key points that you brought up is you invested. You made a significant investment and it took several years, but it has long since paid off by being able to continue to do a lot of repeat business. So congratulations to you on your customer retention rate and on also lifetime value, because if you are keeping those customers year after year after year, the lifetime value goes up. So let's talk a little bit about data, because data is critical to making sure you deliver what customers want. And I know that that's very important to you and Excess Logic. Without good data, products and services, especially new ones, can sort of end up being a market flop. And while data is no guarantee you'll have a hit, it can go a long way towards improving your odds of success. What kinds of data do you all use to stay ahead of trends and ensure that you continuously deliver value to your customers?
This is another good question. Thank you, Laura. So besides providing services like disposal services, recycling services, and data destruction services, our company provides for the clients asset remarketing services. So we pick up equipment, and then if it has value, it has liquidity, we sell it. And here's where the data plays its role. So what do? We have access to a special service database which been developed by third parties, but this is very powerful tool which we use to have the latest data on all equipment we're trying to sell. And that data shows us for how much that particular piece of equipment, or maybe similar equipment from just different manufacturer, but with similar functionality, been sold for the last 90 days, and we have data up to 3 years. So we can see if this equipment we're selling ever been sold, and if so, for how much. And this allows us, when we put it on sale, not to use this old-fashioned approach, which is most of our competitors use. They use like auction style. They just put equipment on the auction, put like $100 price, and then they accept the bids, and the highest bid buys the equipment. You can sell something which worth $50,000 for like $500 because that day there is no bidders, people just didn't notice it, and so on and so forth. And this is why we're getting a lot of feedback from our customers. They got frustrated because they tried that old-fashioned way, selling equipment through the auctions. But when they try our service, we do so-called reverse auction. So we get this price from the database. And if we see something being sold for $10,000, we put it on the market for $10,000. And then we see how market reacts. And people and companies start placing different offers. And somebody let's say we're selling something for $10,000 and somebody places $1,000. We just decline this offer. And if we decline offer 3 times, this customer potential buyer cannot even place any more offer. They know it, so they don't mess with it. They either place reasonable offers or they just wait, maybe we will reduce the price. So by doing so, we've been able to recover up to 80% of the market value for our customers. And if it's a brand new stuff, up to 90%. And this is just unheard of. A lot of our customers, they can't believe how much money we got them. And unfortunately, I can't show right now during this, but I can provide link to Laura and she can post it on the description of this video. Just for comparison, several things we sold, and this is happening almost every day. And then we see for how much it was sold by our competitors. Sometimes it's like 10x, sometimes it's 24x on the price we sold for compared to other companies, because they just don't have data which we have, and they selling for whatever in that way I just explained. So it's very important.
And that's an excellent example of how you can use data to the benefit of both you and your customers. And I'm sure your customers, that's another, important aspect of the relationship with you, is that they know they're going to get a better value for the equipment that once it's in your hands than if it was going somewhere else. So data is a really powerful tool for identifying, opportunities and for driving innovation. And it sounds like this idea that you have on how you sell or remarket the products is very innovative. And thank you for sharing some of these examples that you have today on some of the insights that have enabled you to be more I guess what we would say customer-centric in our company. I know that you've done a lot of work, around the equipment that you're selling and how you sell your equipment and how you can get these higher prices. So let's talk a little bit about the operational component that goes into being able to do this well. So in order to, deliver consistent value, you really need operational excellence. And McKinsey wrote an article on analytics and asset management that highlighted the importance of analytics and insights in the asset management space to improve distribution effectiveness, investment performance, and productivity. What steps has Access Logic taken to leverage analytics and insights to improve the efficiency of the ecosystem and enhance the customer experience? So particularly around the ecosystem, which I know our listeners are probably very intrigued and trying to think about how they might leverage this strategy.
So this is another good question. Yeah, it's very important to follow these three mantras, I would say, in our company. We follow. It's the first, if you can automate it, first try to automate it. And if you can't automate it, outsource. And if you can't outsource, delegate. And if you can't delegate, then you do it yourself. So what we do first, we do a lot of automation. My background experience, I used to be a software developer myself, and my first business was software development. So I kind of understand how important to automate all the processes inside a company and outside and connect them as a one thing, like a Swiss watch, so they work nicely and smoothly. So it reduces the labor intense. So how many people involved and how people get informed about the next step on each business process. So we use Salesforce as a base. And based on the Salesforce, we customized a lot of processes. We connected Salesforce with financial software. We connected with pickup booking software, and so on and so forth. So, and in one click, it takes 5 minutes for account managers to schedule pickup with complicated transactions. As I mentioned before, this automation help us to do pickups. Like one day, I remember I had 5 pickups from Google from different 5 locations, and it took me like just 20 minutes to schedule those 5 pickups. And then after it's been done, everybody in our office or our vendors and the client, they get automated emails about what they're gonna happen on what date, and then what they need to bring to the facility and how it needs to be done properly. And then another reminder automatically goes to them. So we're trying to eliminate all these human factors when people can forget to do something or do some mistake. We put everything on software. So it just go through software, the standard templates, standard emails go by standard schedule. So once the pickup scheduled, all the parties get the notification and the invoice automatically created. Even the accountant doesn't need automatically manually create invoice to avoid any mistakes about that. And then once the pickup completed, the client get this invoice. So it's all very smoothly and conveniently. So this is the very important to do, like this automation. This is what we do for our clients. This is how we build it based again on the Google case.
No, I think that's excellent. I imagine people are listening to your 3 pillars: automate, delegate, do it yourself. And clearly you have done a lot of work around process and mapping out those processes and getting them very well defined. And as a result, operational excellence has helped position Excess Logic as a trusted partner for for businesses nationwide. And it's probably a key reason for your accelerated growth. So Victor, as we wrap up, I'm sure you have some advice for anyone that is running a company for how they can re-engineer their processes for growth and create an ecosystem. What would you recommend they do in first steps for re-engineering their processes and creating an ecosystem?
This is a great question, I can tell. So this is like my second business, and in every business I had, there is only thing you can do to make it more efficient and make more money and make your more customer more satisfied is to first you need to write down yourself or somebody in your company who is capable of doing it, all the processes you have. And then, as I mentioned before, you need to see what processes can be automated and how. And then you don't need any sophisticated, expensive companies. You can just find some freelancer who has this experience and just ask them. So
Or maybe a
outsource.
company like ours.
Or like Laura's companies, right? Some company that specialize in those things. Trust me, will be one of the best investment you can do, because once you automate things, you will see. So those people who've been involved in that, they will spend less time on that, so they can do something else, or you can reduce your staff, right, and have less people. For example, our revenue going up every year like 30-something%, but our staff we haven't increased any. If we didn't add any people because of the automation. So this allows you to grow your business double, triple without increasing staff linearly. Yeah, you will be adding maybe one person or two per people, but not that like linearly. So if you add $1 million, you need to add another 5 people. No, it's not going to happen if you have this automation. And will give you this edge. So you will be more flexible for any complicated situation when, for example, there's a contraction in the economy, for example, recession, right? So the client's tight on budget. Since it costs you less than your competitors who don't have this automation, and this is what automation gives you to reduce the cost of every transaction, right? So then you will be more competitive, then you can be more flexible on pricing for your clients. It will give you advantage before your competitors, because you have this automated system. So if you charge them one price, you can a little bit reduce, give them discount like a long-term client. So they would understand that, but it wouldn't cost you anything because it's just automation.
I think that's really helpful on the process front. And on the ecosystem front, Victor, I mean, you guys obviously, are very selective in who you bring into your ecosystem, and, identifying which providers in every area that are going to be the ones that you want to work with. Do you have any thoughts about, looking into and evaluating the ecosystem and who in the ecosystem, or how to select people in the ecosystem to become part of your network?
Yes, definitely. This is very important. And before we start working with any company as a subcontractor, so we have always Zoom call, and I always check their portfolio, how long they've been in business, who they work with, if they on time on the calls, and so on and so forth. So we give them a try. So additionally, we have like a rule for every location. We have at least 2 subcontractors. So if one subcontractor is busy, so we have another one as an emergency. So we are able to provide to the client the immediate response. This is what helps you. So don't have just one partner per location. If you build an ecosystem which is like nationwide, have at least 2, better 3. And it's okay if they know that they're not alone. This will help you to, again, control the prices they're charging you for their services. So they know there's somebody else you can ask if they overcharge you. So they will be working better for you, they will charge you less, and will provide you better service. So have at least minimum 2 partners per location.
That's good advice. Well, Victor, you have shared a lot of insights with us, and thank you for giving us an insight and closer look at how Excess Logic has leveraged analytics, automation, and created a powerful nationwide ecosystem to deliver operational excellence and enhance the customer experience. You know, your story and the story of Excess Logic really highlights the powerful role of aligning process, outsourcing, and data to scale efficiently while maintaining a really high service quality, because you have customers that are, in order for them to keep on doing business with you, have to feel very confident in the value that you provide. So congratulations to you and your company.
Thank you, Laura, for having me here. It was a pleasure to share my experience, and I hope it will help our viewers to improve their bottom line.
I hope so too, and I think you gave them some really good advice. And we welcome a conversation with any of you in our community if you are looking to drive growth or focus on operational excellence, or create a seamless customer experience through data-driven decision-making. Thank you all for listening today. We hope you found this episode of What's Your Edge helpful. And since 1999, VisionEdge Marketing has been helping our customers solve the most difficult challenges when it comes to using data, analytics, process, and measurement to accelerate growth, create value, and improve performance. We always welcome hearing from you.